What's up, everyone? It's Forgotten Circus. So I'm going to be doing my episode 1 review, spoiler review, light spoilers, kind of episode 1 of Dune Prophecy. The show is amazing. It's good. It had me hooked from the opening scene, but it has its cringe. It does. And I know it's episode 1 is usually the pilot episodes. So yeah, uh, it's finding its footing, but there's certain parts where it lives up to Denise, because this is all tied to Denise Dune saga, because Messiah is going to come out. So this is the prequel that's going to give you kind of insight on how important the Bene Gesserit are, the sisterhood, and it's very sisterhood heavy, which I did like, because they were one of the mysteries that are in Dune that you can read in the book, but we want to see it live action. Now we're finally getting to see it, which is great. So but it has its cringe. It really does. There's certain parts in this, and some things with the CGI and some of the special effects are a little off, and then they hit you with a boom boom, like we made up for it right there. So you can see where budget was going in the first episode, and I'm pretty sure it's going to increase. The next episodes are going to probably be phenomenal. So, but it starts off, we see the war. I don't know if it's the Butlerian Jihad, right? Am I allowed to say that? Butlerian Jihad. I don't know if it's, because they say the thinking machines, and this is when, if you know anything about the Dune universe, this is when basically they're saying we have to use basic technology. But that's the funny thing about the Dune universe. They use all this technology that's still better than our technology right now, but they don't want like thinking machines like AI and stuff to prevent it, which I don't know. They have technology, but they don't want technology. It's so funny. It's one of those oxymorons, I guess, in the Dune universe, which makes it great. So we find out that basically, they're going against thinking machines, and you have the Carinos, which are basically the ones that started the rebellion and everything. So they're going to get to the forefront. And I did like this recap of how that all came together and who was there. And so you got the Harkonnens and the other house. The other house, I forget their names. But and then you have like the Atreides. So they're all going against the thinking machines. And by myth and legend, basically, the Atreides guy took out basically the last of the thinking machines single-handedly. So, and then the Carinos, because if you know anything about right now and probably about this time, because even when you see it with Denis and Timothy Chalamet's Timothy, and that universe over there, they're still like kind of they're a prominent house, and they're coming up, they're like a threat. But in here, this is when they really realize, like, who is this house? Because they're a smaller house, it seems like, in this, but obviously they played the most important, but later, because they're part of this whole scheme that they show with the Bene Gesserit. Because what the Bene Gesserit are trying to do, the sisterhood, they're trying to wield this where it will be one of them on the throne eventually. And there's certain things that you learn from the Mother Superior, which is the first Mother Superior, the Bene Gesserit. She creates kind of like this voice thing, and then she gifts it to Valia, which I was loving this part. I was seeing how the origin of the Bene Gesserit and why they're so important, because they strategically put one of them in every single house, and it's always with like the younger, so they're supposed to be like teachers to like the younger heirs of the house, like the Carinos, and I don't know if they're in their at the Atreides house just yet, but they have this whole interior kind of network going on of manipulation and deception, because they do say in this, the best way to get to basically where you want to be is to lie to get there. They're very manipulative, I understand where they're coming from. They want to exist, but you see it in the you really see it in this, and then it gets a little cringe when they were getting there, and you're like, oh, and then you see them training the real space witches that are training, so they're kind of doing like this whole Shaolin monk montage, and I get it because they have to be super disciplined, and there's a lot of deception between them in this episode. You get to see like there's a lot of inner turmoil. So when you see the Bene Gesserit later on in like the movies later on, thousands and thousands of years from now, they're more. It seems like they're more like stoic, but you have some thinkers in this generation. They're like, I don't know if that's just right. So it shows you how they kind of weed them out, certain ones. So they collect them from all houses. And I just broke down basically the Bene Gesserit right there in this episode. I could go even deeper, but I need to get on with this. I'm sorry, I apologize. So you got the Mother Superior, she dies, and then she wants Valia, which is basically she's a Harkonnen. So remember, the Harkonnens just totally dipped on the trading the Corrinos during that battle. So they just dipped out. You know, I don't know. Kind of, they thought they were losing. Could go anyway. So you got Valia and the mother, and you have Mother Superiors. There's the whole thing, and then Valia takes over the faction, and she's going by Mother Superior's vision. So she's trying to carry that on. She's kind of like brainwashed, kind of. And then we got Desmond Hart. He's so Travis Fimmel every time I see this guy on set. I thought coming into this, before I saw this, right? I thought, okay, because even with like Dances with Wolves, he was kind of like that Ragnar character. Because you remember Ragnar Lothbrok from Vikings. You ever watch that? Jeez, he's so good, man. But that's what I was expecting. I was because when I saw it with not Dance with Wolves, what was it again? The Ridley Scott one, Raised by Wolves. There you go, Raised by Wolves. Right. I really thought that he's just going to be typecast, and even in Warcraft, the movie, I was like, it's still Ragnar. In this, I don't. Desmond Hart, I don't know what he is or what he does. He is one of the best characters I've ever seen in a television series already. First episode. There is something about this guy. He has that spark. He has that it factor. He has like what I'm talking about, the character Desmond Hart. You don't, and Travis Fimmel, but it's like, who is this guy? Because there's certain things that he does in here, like when the Bene Gesserit are talking to him, and I'm skipping over a lot of stuff, so you have to go watch it. You'll understand. I'm going to key points, and like they're doing like, because remember the voice came from the Reverend Mother, and then Vi, but there's something about, because he looks back at her in that moment. I'm like, who is it? Is he a Gola? Is it the Bene Twi'leks? Is it the Zixians? Who is it? His mystery is going to be good in the show. And obviously, so you have the cringe club scene, which was terrible with the Corrinos. So the Corrinos' daughter, and there's a lot of, so she gets married. She's supposed to marry the other house. Forget the other house's name, and like she's way older than this kid, which actually turned out to be a very great actor in this episode. Like the kid that played, I'm sorry, getting out of the house. I'm so excited about this, but yeah, he's a very good actor. I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, this kid is good. So they're supposed to get arranged marriage, and they know that the Corrinos, they need the ships so they can fight the rebels that are going on Arrakis, because everybody knows Arrakis, the Corrinos right now, everything's spice. He who controls the spice controls the universe, right? We all know that. Spice makes you live longer, and it's only on Arrakis and maybe one other planet that nobody knows about yet. But yeah. So that is your cash crop. That's the money. That's the gold. So there's he needs those. So he does this weird marriage, and this part was a little. They made up for it because so the younger kid from the other house is supposed, and he's like 10 years younger, very young, but it was a little weird. So they know it's like an arranged marriage. Nothing's probably ever going to happen. We got to do this, and then you start to see how the turmoil. This is what I wanted to see in Dune too, because we get a lot of action with the Dune movies, but I wanted to see the inner turmoil, the espionage. You know what I mean? The rumors, and they delivered on this. Definitely did. Definitely delivered on this. So, yeah. So you had the weird marriage that I'm going to skip past. So we get to the part where the little kid, they're sitting there, and it's the ceremony and everything, and little kid sitting there from the other house. I keep forgetting, and Carino, the daughter of the Emperor Carino, ruling house, says, "What's that?" And he's got like this little globe, and it's like technology. It turns into like little lizard. It's running around. You know what I mean? And they say that's forbidden. So now we're seeing that it's like you can have technology, but not too much technology. And can we get to the part where there was a part in here when if they don't want all this technology, and it's so funny because they made like a joke of us. They're both sitting there. They're both Bene Gesserit. It's Valia and her homegirl, the other Bene Gesserit, the other Reverend Mother or whatever. But they're sitting there, and it's like us, like how we do when we're sitting down on the couch or we're watching something and we're watching our cell phones. That part was pretty funny. I'll give you that. But it's like they can't have too much technology, but just enough. But it's going to be your downfall. So we get to the part where we get this is what I don't understand. And all the visions that go on in this, just the visions are so important, but it's so hard to like fathom with it. I can't put into words. When they go into the show has some good parts in it. But when anybody goes to whether it's a Bene Gesserit, if it's a Carino or a Harkonnen, whoever, and it seems like Harkonnen's kind of dissed now. So I think that's why that Valia is it Valia? Yeah, Valia Harkonnen, which is the mother superior. I think she has like a disdain because her family's got they kind of moved down the ladder and the Atreides are moving up. Maybe that's why. But you get to that part where so you had that so there's a scene when in the cringe scenes, well not really cringe, but it got kind of like low budget in some of those scenes when the Atreides, which is the sword master, see the Atreides are fully in there, and I think they're infiltrating. And there's something about Desmond Hart that's going to probably link everything together. But so they have their moment, you know, and then it's like, is something going to come from that? Is this way of because remember, it's all a breeding thing to eventually get a Bene Gesserit on the throne with the two powerful bloodlines of the houses in that one person, so they could rule the Imperium or Empire or whatever forever. You know, but I did like the voice effect in this. I really did like when they used the voice, the weirding way or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we haven't seen the Ganja bar yet or anything. That's probably coming up, but we did see a crest of a ring with little points on it. You never know. So all right. And then we had where am I at right now? So yeah, and the way it kind of like because I gotta end this. It's a little long. I don't want to ruin it too much. But the way it kind of ended to me was it was bittersweet, real bittersweet. Because there were parts in there when I was like, all right, so where are we going with this? We got the visions, and then you had the part with Desmond Hart again. when he's walking through, and the little boy's playing with the toy, and you're sitting there like, what is going on? And remember, a lot of anybody that's around Desmond Hart for some odd reason, I don't know who this guy is, but it's phenomenal. Travis Fimmel knocked it out the park. But he's sitting there, he's talking to the boy, and you think it's a very caring conversation, you know? And then he looks at him, and something proceeds to burn him. I don't know if he's using what is he a Gola? Is he from is he using some different type of witchcraft that even the Bene Gesserit don't know about? But he burns him. And everybody that came in contact with him is burning. It's the boy and the Bene Gesserit witch, which was actually the Reverend Mother or the Bene Gesserit that was over top of Carino's daughter. But there's something about this guy, because even when Carino's watching, he's watching on the screen with more technology than we have today, but they don't want technology. But yeah. And he zooms in, and he has better zoom than us, and he can actually span around like that. But they want less technology. But yeah. So he zooms in, right? And he sees it actually is Desmond Hart. And he's got the thumpers going and the sandworms going. He's like, what is going on? So that part was kind of, it's like he's trying to figure out, like, is this, I don't think that's Desmond Hart. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know in this universe. And then the sandworm, he skips past real fast, and then the sandworm engulfs him. So I don't know. You got the whole thing where it just kind of ends where, like, the Bene Gesserit are still trying to do their thing, but you're looking at Desmond Hart now like, who are you, dude? Who is this guy? If anybody knows the lore or whatever, because, like, I've watched a lot of Dune, Red Dune, you know what I mean? A lot of it, but there's more lore out there. So if anybody can leave a comment on maybe who you think he is, let me know. I have no idea, but overall, but overall, it's a great episode. Great episode. Really good. Cringe at some points. Pretty sure it's going to get better, but I really did like it, and it was worth the wait. So anyway, tell me what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. I don't want everyone to subscribe, and I do mean everyone. Everyone!